Hey everyone, how's it going? Octopus here. Welcome back to evercrisis. We're going to be talking about the Iron Giant fight. We're going to be going against him without water weapons, using just materia, a couple different setups. I'm going to show you every character that has a play or role in this fight, so that way you can adjust the party according to yours. But then I'm going to show you my party and how I did it and how you should apply it. So hopefully something here helps you out, because this quest is pretty easy compared to the last one, Sephiroth. This one is more of a strategy than a DPS race. Obviously you still need DPS, you don't have to deal with all the annoyance, but we'll talk about that as we jump into this video. Alright, let's talk about the mechanics of the Iron Giant. He's weak to water, has no resistance, and sigil break at the moment for the EX2 doesn't really matter. You can use whatever to break that sigil. If you do have the diamond sigil weapons, it does speed it up, but that's probably going to be a future problem when it comes to the crash battle. He's got this mechanic basically that he's going to raise his attack up multiple tiers and also his defense. You lower that attack all the way down to make sure you don't get one-shotted, and you also can remove his defense buff to stun him, giving you opportunity to just beat him down without him reacting. It's actually pretty hilarious, and there's a lot of opportunities. There's two key factors here into surviving, and that is if you lower his attack by 2 tiers, you don't have to bring in defense up or have a lot of HP. If you do 3 tiers, you're laughing. You don't really have to have anything. But if you don't have an ability to lower his attack down and you're only using debraves, so you only get 1 tier down of physical attack, then you got to bring in some kind of AoE physical defense up, or a lot of single target ones, and pray for the best that you have enough ATB. So there's a mixture of that. You're either bringing 2 tiers of attack down, or you're bringing in a way to raise your defense by 1 tier up. Now, when I say 1 tier, 2 tier, 3 tier, make sure you guys go into settings. A lot of people still don't know this. I do have a video about this, but if you go to battle, display the buff and debuff icon tiers during battle. Turn that on. It's off by default. So now you're going to have to deal with his physical attack. There's multiple ways of doing this. Debrave is currently in the game. If you go to your materia section, turn off the recipes you don't have, and you go to that actual materia debrave, it'll show you a little book right over here. When you're in that menu, click on it and it'll show you what quest to get debrave from. But it's from the crisis dungeon, normal mode, I believe the cave, if I'm not mistaken, the one from First Soldier story. So with that being said, what lowers the enemy's attack besides debrave materia? You've got Matt's weapon over here, the Slick Beetle. It does medium potency for 1 cast. If you cast it twice, you get high potency. You're going to see 3 arrows down when you face the enemy. That's a really good option because he also is a healer. Then we got Sephiroth, not the greatest to have on his setup, but if you are running him as a physical, this does work nicely because it lowers the physical attack again, mid to high tier. And then we got Tifa, who is also another really good DPS character, good limit break, and she's got a physical attack decrease by mid to high tier. And if you use her somersault as well, this will lower physical defense, so that way you're doing 2 things in 1. When it comes to her, you've got 2 things in 1 when it comes to Matt, not just your damage dealers, but your healers, your supporters. So really good options over there. And then we got other physical attack downs, but they're only by 1 tier. They're AoE, which is interesting. But if you have full metal staff on Aerith, you can lower physical attack to low to medium. So if you cast this twice, you can get that physical attack down, and that will let you survive many things. So a lot of people have Aerith as their healer, so that will definitely make a difference there. Same thing with Cloud as your DPS. You can bring this in physical attack low to medium, so you have to cast it twice to get 2 tiers down. And then we have Lucia over here because her limit break also lowers physical attack. So Lucia, many other options, including her water weapon. So if you have her water weapon, pop that limit break. You're doing enough damage with the Serpent Eater, and then when your limit breaks up, you save that for his big AoE hit that goes into an animation. Besides that, the giant doesn't hit that hard. So that's for physical attack down, including debrave materia. Now, when it comes to lowering the enemy's defense, you want to bring a physical team into this because you are going to be lowering him down to physical defense, and he's not he's immune to magic defense down. So bringing a physical DPS team is going to be a lot stronger here, just not necessary. If your magic setup's strong enough, you can get away with it. So options are Zack's Cutlass, medium to high tier defense down for physical. Barrett's W machine gun over here, physical defense mid to high. And then we've got Cloud himself having the hard edge, doing medium to high physical defense down. Again, there's also many options, like Barrett's limit break here has magic and physical defense is decreased. So you could use his limit break plus a W machine and you don't need anyone else to do anything else. That is an option. Then we got the second group over here, which again, Aerith having Umbrella. It's low, but you can cast it twice to get that physical defense down 2 tiers. Or just multiple casts because you want to stun him. Red 13's new collar can also help here, and Red 13's limit break applies a physical attack decrease as well. So there's a 2-for-1 on Red 13. So defense down, physical attack down, all in that one setup. Now, when it comes to water materia, since you're not going to be using a water weapon that's specifically like Cloud's Maritime, Lucia's Serpent Eater, you know how Zac has that new weapon? I'm going to put Zac here with this weapon because I didn't pull for his new one. But Zac's new weapon materia slot does 30% extra damage. But so does Tifa's Grand Gloves over here. If you go check her materia slot, water ability damage plus 30%. That also goes for Sephiroth's Shinra Blade. It has water ability damage plus 30%. So just like Zac's new weapon, these two have the exact same power to do that. So you can just cast that water blow or water spell and just get through that fight as soon as possible. Now that we covered all your options to come in here, bring, mix and match, just make sure you have a healer. Doesn't have to be full healer. Do a DPS / healer, and then bringing in those physical attack downs along with physical defense down. This quest is going to be so easy. So this is the setup I'm bringing in. I'm going to go with the full physical team. Cloud having his main weapon, but we are going to be utilizing Water Blow, not his actual weapon, because I want to show you guys with materia. And then same thing with sorry, not Red, but Barrett over here. Water Blow on his setup, and Aerith doing water magic as well. Even though it's not physical, she benefits more from magic. If you had Tifa, you can build her as a as a physical healer instead of a magical healer, so it all depends what you guys have. Every character here has some kind of utility going on. Cloud is going to be carrying a D-Brave. D-Brave is that materia that I told you guys you can go get from the Crisis dungeon. Everyone can get it, normal mode. It lowers physical attack down by 1 tier. So both of them are going to be rocking that materia. I'm also going to bring in Breach because Hard Edge is an option. So is W Machine. But all you need is this Breach materia. If you actually bring in 2 Breach materias, this will go a lot faster when it comes to if you have no weapons that actually lower physical defense. But if you do have, mix that Breach materia along with those, and then everyone is just going to come in here and constantly do damage. So this is the setup I'm going to bring in. I'm going to show you a way to do with my team, and then you guys can mix and match and make your team work. Everything else on my setup doesn't really matter. Your attack is your attack. Get as high as possible, but I am using all pretty much event weapons, no overboost weapon, all event weapons, and all event weapons for healing. So nothing special back here, right? We got 1,700 attack, we got 1,900 attack, and we got healing of 1,732, which honestly I should put more into magic than healing, but this is just for an example. So here we go. Most important key points here. You don't need to have all these limit breaks. These limit breaks don't matter. Bringing in Tifa, Red 13, Lucia with their special limit breaks will make this quest easy for you. I'm just bringing in pure damage because I do have it. Totally an option, not a staple. All right, so here we go. We're gonna put this in slow mode, in manual or semi, and we want to start off this fight by waiting for him to bring his physical attack up. We're gonna go in here and D-Brave as much as we can, get that 1 tier down, and as soon as he's about to go into that cast mode, we can raise our defense if you guys have a defense up. If you're able to lower his attack more than once, lower that 2 tiers. And there's that little symbol I was talking about. I'm going to switch to defense mode, get my defense up. The less I have to heal, the better. Key factors is your attack stance and defense stance. Always switch between them. So we survived with plenty HP, and this is the attack stance, defense stance. Now I'm going to make sure the Aerith heals up. And one thing you guys can do is if you're doing this setup, let's say Cloud over here has Breach, and Barrett has Breach, and whoever else has Breach, just spam these breaches. They're good enough, right? I know that Barrett, and I can use Hard Edge, Armor Break over here for faster, but these breaches are good enough. I want to emphasize that. Don't worry. Also, if you do a Breach, which is 1 tier, and then use Armor Break, you'll actually get 3 tiers down. And you can see, now he's stunned because of that. Right over here, ailment, stun, and that's because we took his defense down all the way. Now that we got 3 tiers down, we're going to abuse water blows and just go crazy. Over and over and over again. I don't really trust the AI, and you'll see me jump between my characters because of that. So that is something keep in mind, that yes, you can leave it in auto mode, or you can leave it in semi, but sometimes the AI lets that ATB gauge go way too far, and doesn't do anything and that buff falls off. So always just rotate between your characters and cast their ability for them, because they're lazy. They are super lazy, and you want to make sure they're doing their job. Now, only come to Aerith to heal, switch to defense mode for that heal, and switch back to attack mode to keep this big buff. You could block attacks like that, but again, there's a D-Brave going. I could use something like Night Bloom to lower the defense, but again, we're going to use Cloud's Breach first. Didn't work, and there you can see it doesn't do 3 tiers because Barret went first. I'm going to do another defense down on Barret to get that 3 tiers down because our summons are about to come up. I'm going to go for 1 cast over here to get my summon gauge up, and I'm going to go for 1 heal over here. So this is it. This is the entire fight. I know it seems like it isn't much and not much is happening, but it is that easy a fight that I can probably put this in auto mode and the AI would know what to do. So we're going to wait for Aerith. 1 more cast of this, and we can use our triple summon. We're going to make sure Cloud does his breach first, and then Barret does his high potency one. So now we have 3 tiers. Cast all this, so we get maximum damage. If you're going to go max damage, make sure you're full attack stance. That means that diamond sigil in the corner over here is full and actually says 50%, and then make sure the defense down is all the way, so you can do crazy good damage. Even though summons aren't doing good damage in here, you're probably better off using normal limit breaks because he's not weak to any of these. And these are fully maxed out summons, only doing a total 21,000. So, back to your characters that's doing pure DPS, water blows, and we're going to get ready for that first sigil break. Here's where you just want to spam those breaches you got because they count towards it. Right? So spam breaches while you're breaking a sigil break, or just break a sigil. It's up to you. Right? I'm just going to break this along the way because it does count towards to one of them, and you get that stun. Plus, you get more damage. So we can't go any further with that breach. I'm just going to cast a water blow here. Go to Barret. Make sure he puts that 3 tiers down. And then I'm just going to help fight here. Because if you switch to defense mode to heal during this phase, you're losing tons of damage. Because you make your sigil go down to nothing or 25%, where like you can super utilize. Now that we're out of there, now I heal. Especially because he's still stunned. And that way, see that 50% boost? That way you can make sure you're doing maximum damage always. Okay, so this is where we're going to be doing D-Braves. If you want, you're supposed to save it after that initial sigil break. And now you do it because he double cast it, right? So you could be D-Braving that first initial boost. Just save your ATB. He's going to go Grand Sword over here. This is going to hurt a lot. These are one of those situations where we're going to use Aerith's defense up. Or you lower his attack twice. That's the key there. So for some reason, Barret's not doing the last D-Brave. Put defense mode, and I'll survive. I'm surviving because I have that defense up. If you don't have that defense up, you might have enough HP, or you're lowering 2 tiers of this. And that's the whole combination. So 3 tiers down, everyone's got summons except for Aerith. Aerith, I'm going to switch to heal mode. And before I cast her summon, I'm going to wait till that says 50%. You could also use your limit breaks in between each attack to kind of cancel the animation. And that way you get to like cast another ability, use a summon or a limit break, cast another ability, and you kind of cheese extra damage in there. But for the most part, you don't need it for this fight specifically. So we're going to use all our limit breaks together to get damage. If your limit breaks are support, then you can use that support limit break in between. Now that we're at this point right here, we do got to heal up with Aerith, so we're going to let our damage dealers do their thing. They will double cast D-Brave, so do be careful about that. Try to be on one of your DPSs. And you could block these hits, and you probably should switch to defense to block those hits. So we're going to wait till another hit comes in. Wait for it before we heal. Nope, this is short fuse. We're already here. Wow, we're getting here so quickly. So here you do still want to go ahead and D-Brave. D-Brave him. Lower his defense for that damage. And he's going to get you another chance to actually break him and stun him. He will have a big hit, and this big hit does require multiple attack down. There's an attack, switch to defense mode, only take less than 1,200. Which is really nice. So I'm going to switch and heal here real quick. While letting Barret and Cloud just keep doing DPS. And then he's going to have that moment where, he just goes for it. So there it is. Defense is up. So start making the breach materia, whatever you got on your setup. Bear quick burst. If you put triple breach, all 3 characters, and triple debrave, you can just pull this off with the materia. Okay, Bear did it. We got his defense down. That should be a stun. There's a stun. And now we just go off. So he's got a Grand Sword coming up, but we can probably kill him before that. So I'm going to cast this over here. Go for all the damage I can do. And if not, again, you got to lower that attack. I could raise his DPS, but I think I'm going to play it safe here because you guys might not be able to do as much DPS as me. So I'm actually going to lower his attack. Lower his attack again. Lower his attack again. Get on my healer. And get ready for that defense up. So there's 1 defense up. Switch to defense mode. And that should be good enough. You can see Barrett casting extra barriers there because of his event weapon. So there we go. We survived. Cloud died, but that's okay. We'll go into attack mode. Heal it up. That's me not rushing through all that. I could have rushed through it. But now we're just going to have the 2 characters here. Again, I'm using all event weapons, making this really, really weak. So you guys can see you don't need crazy, crazy damage for this. Barrett defense down again. Max tier that out. And as soon as I get the chance, I'm going to go ahead and use my limit breaks. Plus whatever Barrett's doing for damage here. You got the last debrave in there. Perfect. Got full defense down. All I got to do is 1 more heal here, and I can limit break with them. Wait till I'm at 50%. 50%. And we're going to get that in there. So even though my character died, this is still going to be a full clear. Probably could have done a way better job showcasing this. Just by adding a little bit more power. But I want to make everything as sleek as possible. So that you can see it's more about the strategy. And not about the fight itself. So lower that defense. Lower that defense again. And then just water blow. I'm going to switch to defense so the Aerith actually heals and we block this attack. You can see there's a lot of time here to just keep doing what you want. He is raising his attack up multiple times here, but now I'm sort of in a DPS race because 1 character gone. Here comes the Mighty Guard. And I didn't bring a breach for Aerith here, so it's going to be kind of awkward to get that down. I'm going to get that heal in there real quick. Gotta just cast 2 more. Here comes his big buff. As long as I get the stun in here, I'm golden. 1 more time. Don't you do it, man. Don't you Grand Sword me. Don't you Grand Sword me. Here's a stun. So there's a stun, giving us a little bit of opportunity there. I'm going to cast Water Blows instead right now because we're in a DPS race. Have Aerith cast water. Have her cast water again. And then hopefully we squeeze enough just in there before he comes up. Ooh, so close. Done. Bare minimum. Even weapon-wise. I'm using event weapons galore, materia, debraves. If I brought in multiple breaches or Cloud had a little bit more HP, we would have survived without a problem. So there's a very scuffed version of this. So that is pretty much everything. If you guys want to add your setups down below, there's tons of ways to take this down. He does seem annoying. I know if I try to use a magic setup where I'm using more magic characters instead of physical, it is a lot harder. So try to bring in more physical characters. Even if they don't seem like your best character, just make them with a good 5-star weapon at level 70, and that should be good enough as long as you bring in those breach materias and that debrave materia. That's all you really need here. If you don't have any way to lower 2 attacks down, again, just increase your defense and you should be okay. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll smell y'all later.